302. It's on 26.
Thing to note is that the rear window were a lot lighter than the side windows. This is where I had issues with other bad tinters, and happy the way the tint came out. So thumbs up to them. Hey everyone, and welcome to Chasing Adventures. So today we're gonna tint my 2022 Subaru Outback Wilderness. So after moving to Washington State, I thought it was gonna be a lot more cloudy and rainy all the time, but if you look, it's hot and there's not a single cloud in the sky. So I thought it would be a good idea for me to tint my car. And when I was doing a back-to-back road trip, moving from California to Washington, and I noticed a big difference on my driving comfort. So the first time I drove the Subaru up from California to Washington and flew back the next day and picked up my Prius and I drove back up to Washington. Now, when I was driving the Subaru, you know, the sun was on my face, my arms, my legs. It was hot, it was scorching hot. But when I was driving the Prius, I didn't feel nothing at all. Maybe just a tad. So I thought, you know, wow, this is a big difference, because I never drove cars back to back like that. And I never really noticed how much the tint helps. So that's why I'm getting my car tinted. And when I was looking at some places to get my car tinted in Washington State, I found this place called Diamond Window Tinting. They're a little bit further away from my house. They're located in South Center, Washington, and I'm in Tacoma. So it was a little bit of drive, but their reviews were excellent. The pricing was fair. And when I was calling to make an appointment, it was 3 weeks out until availability. So that just tells you something. If your company's doing that well, you're booked that far out, you know, I have no doubt that they're gonna mess up my car. So let's go get the car tinted. What is this called?
DTU meter.
DTU meter.
It shows a solar transmission. So anyways, 302, right? And nothing on it.
Yeah.
And this one is the regular dyed material.
Okay.
And this is at 35%.
Okay.
Push it down to
14.
Right? This one, same thing, 35%, but metallized.
Metallized, okay.
It's down to 176.
Yeah, lower.
This one is a ceramic film. I want to show it to you in a really light one.
Okay.
70%.
That's like nothing, really light.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cuts down to 59.
Wow.
This one is the best one. It's a multi-layer ceramic.
Okay.
70%. It's down to 26.
So half. Wow.
Half of the regular
Half of the,
ceramic.
okay.
So the higher the line you go, it blocks out more heat.
That's with the 70% in the back.
70, then without it, 19, 18.
Hello guys. So it's been a few days since I got the tint, and when I got the car back and drove home, I could tell the difference immediately. I mean, the sun was directly on the side of my face, and usually I have to turn down the visor and turn it to the side to block the sun, but I didn't feel the need to with these tint. I mean, it was a day and night difference. So the tint I got was the top of the line XL Plus, and it was a bit spendy, but I think it was definitely worth it. I mean, my Prius V has a similar ceramic tint, but I think it's a different brand and a bit lower quality, because even compared to that, I noticed the difference. So what I got was 70% in the front windshield, which is very, very, very light tint. I mean, you can't even tell the tint is on there, but it blocks like 99% of the UVs and a lot of heat. And so for the side, I didn't want to go too dark like a limo tint, so I went with 20%. And the rear doors, windows already had factory tint on the glass itself, so I went with 55%, which matches the sides pretty well. And one thing to note is that the rear window were a lot lighter than the side windows. And when you brought out the tint meter gauge, the side window measured, I think, 19% light transparency, but the rears were like 28 or 32 or something like that. It was pretty light. So I went with 35% tint on the rear door, and now all windows have very similar shade of tint. So if you ever get your car tinted, ask the tinter if they have a tint meter and measure your windows and go from there. So now let's do a bit of a walk around and see how well they lay the film. Because in the past, I had some pretty bad tint jobs, and you can see like the edge of the film or see a big gap between the window and the tint. So let's take a look. All right. So the car's been sitting outside for a while. And I have a black car, so it tracks a lot of heat. But with these tint, it's pretty cool inside. I don't have the AC on or anything. I just turned the battery on right now. And let's take a look at these films. So from inside, see all the shades from the quarter to the driver's side window. The shades are pretty similar. If you look at the back, I mean, obviously it looks lighter right now because we're facing the road, and you know there's not much contrast, but in real life it's pretty similar. All right, I don't know if the camera's gonna focus on this, but let me see. Okay, so if you look at the cut, it's pretty clean cut right to the window. This is where I had issues with other bad tinters. I seen like where they lay the tint was like down here, and you can see the gap between the window and the tint itself, and like the edges, you can see where they cut. But in this case, yeah, it's a pretty good job. They did a very good job. Let's come to the back window. Yeah, that's a very good cut, and the sides cuts are very good. The quarter window came out very good, and not a lot of dust. So this is the rear hatch window tint, and yeah, came out very good. So I'm very pleased and happy the way the tint came out. So thumbs up to them. So I hope this video was helpful and somewhat informative to you guys, and I would really appreciate it if you could like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you guys will be notified first when my next video is uploaded. So until next time, keep chasing adventures. Bye from not so rainy, sunny Washington.